a member of a Red Sox nation. It's a kind of a family. Wherever I roam, a Fenway home, that's where I long to be. I'm a member of a Red Sox nation. It's a kind of insanity. Yeah, I live and die with Red Sox pride for eternity. I fake a smile November until opening day. Suffering baseball withdrawal around the clock. When April comes, hey, meet me down on Yawkey Way. That's when Red Sox fans just start to rock. I'm a member of a Red Sox nation. It's a kind of a family. Wherever I roam, a Fenway home, that's where I long to be.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 71 of the Avid Boston Podcast, presented by AVIDBOSTON.com. For everyone staying up late tonight on Facebook Live and Periscope, you can find this episode uploaded to SoundCloud within 30 minutes of the conclusion of this broadcast. It will be available on iTunes by your AM commute. It can also be found on Spreaker, YouTube, Player FM, and iHeartRadio. I am Terry Cushman, and I am joined, as always, by my two co-hosts, Dave Kwiatkowski. Dave, how are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be back.
Yeah, we missed you. We were about to fill out a police report. We just hadn't seen you in a while. And also joining us, as always, you can find him on the Double Coverage podcast, which can be found on iTunes. Austin Hartsfield, how are you?
Well, we're all here, so I'm pretty excited about that part.
Yeah.
Been a minute.
Works out.
It's literally been a week.
Summer's crazy, and I'm gonna be absent from my own show next month for a couple episodes. So
the boys are gonna get to play then. The boys are gonna be out having a blast. Like when Dad gets away, leaves some
Stay tuned in September for the 3-hour Avid Boston podcast where Chris, Dave, and I just yell at each other the entire time.
I can't wait.
That'll be the wildest episode.
Yeah, 2 of them actually. So I hope I might be able to participate a little bit, but it'll be just.
They're big series too.
Short segments. I know it's going to be the Cleveland and New York series. So.
It was good luck when I left the last New York series we swept. So maybe we just need to go on vacation every time there's a New York series.
Absolutely.
True.
So let me just dive into the recap here. I'm trying to shorten it, but I go on way too long every time. So here's to trying to shorten it up. Red Sox kicked off the first of a 4-game set against the Baltimore Orioles. Nathan Eovaldi got the start. Came into the game with 15 scoreless innings, was perfect. However, only lasted 2 2/3, gave up 8 runs. 4 of them were earned, 10 hits, 2 walks, 0 strikeouts. Let's see, Dylan Bundy also was starting for the Baltimore Orioles. Xander Bogaerts got to him early with a 3-run shot. Red Sox came back. Let's see. Totally got lost. I'm totally an amateur at this. Red Sox basically came back to tie it, or excuse me, the Orioles. I'm so messed up. Can't even read my own writing.
Red Sox swept the Orioles in a 4-game set, and now we move on, basically.
Right. I'll still go through it, though. I just couldn't remember the sequence of the scoring, but Mookie Betts hit a 3-run shot. That was Andrew Benintendi, 3-run shot. Mookie Betts, bases clearing double. Basically, Mitch Moreland and Dan Butler were the only ones not to get an RBI in that game. Bundy gave up 8 runs as well. 7 of his were earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. The final on that was 19-12. Game 2, David Price, 6 innings pitched, only gave up 5 hits, 0 walks, 0 earned runs. Jimmy Yacabonis, which is probably my new favorite name in Major League Baseball, was kind of matching him pitch for pitch through 4 innings, but in the 5th, Eduardo Nunez hit a 2-run shot. Jackie Bradley, also the first of 2 solo shots. He gave up 3 earned runs on 5 hits. He didn't walk any. Bradley went on to hit another home run late in the game. Red Sox bullpen, Thornburg, Brazier, Barnes were all perfect in closing out the game. Red Sox win that one 5-0, which ironically that was the makeup game from that rainout a few weeks ago where they were winning 5-0 at the time the game got called. So a little bit of irony in Game 2. Game 3, Red Sox had to start Hector Velazquez, which was the night part of the doubleheader. He only lasted 2 2/3, 2 hits, one walk, 2 earned runs. Renato Nunez and Trey Mancini both drove in runs. JD Martinez hit a solo shot. Dan Butler came back to tie it on a sac fly. Steve Pearce hit a home run. He came home on a wild pitch. And so that gave the Red Sox a 3-2 lead. Into the game comes Heath Hembree, gives up a solo shot off of Joey Ricard to tie the game. 8th inning, JD Martinez hits a 2-run shot. Holt drives in Mookie in the 9th. The Red Sox are up 6-3 at that point. Craig Kimbrel comes into the game. Been scuffling a little. Trey Mancini solo shot off of Kimbrel, but Kimbrel did end up closing it out with 3 strikeouts. Red Sox win that one 6-4. And then finally, in the finale today, Red Sox going for the sweep. Chris Sale makes his return from the DL. Only pitched 5 innings, gave up 1 single hit, struck out 12, walked nobody, gave up 0 earned runs. Alex Cobb was pitching for the Orioles, also pitched very well. I'm going to guess that was one of his best starts of the year because he had been struggling. He went 7 strong, gave up 6 hits, struck out 7, 1 earned run. Cora elected to take Sale out after only 5 innings. Thornburg came in, got 2 easy outs, and then loaded the bases. Brazier was brought into the game and managed to get the final out. Matt Barnes pitched the 8th, struggled a little bit himself, gave up, I believe, the only run the Orioles managed to score. That was, I think that was off of Mancini, and but was able to pitch out of the jam. Kimbrel came in today, finally pitches a clean 9th inning, though I think he did give up a walk, but still closed out the game nonetheless. Sox sweep the Orioles 4-1. So I got through those last 3 games pretty smoothly. So basically, kind of a messy series given the overtaxing of the bullpen thanks to Eovaldi, and then the second game of the doubleheader, and then only Sale going 5 today. So had to use the bullpen a lot more than we thought we would. We'll get right into shoutouts and callouts right now. And for those who haven't listened to this new segment, this is the 3rd or 4th show we have done it. All 3 of us will shout out a player or someone on the Red Sox staff that performed very well. And then in the second half of it, we will call out somebody who did not have a good series. So, Dave, you're the freshest of the 3 of us. Why don't you lead it off?
With my shout-out or call-out?
With your shout-out.
My shout-out is to my boy, Jackie Bradley Jr., for another great series. He had a couple dingers, made some great plays in the outfield, holding guys to singles, hit a triple, a double. He was actually a home run shy of the cycle. And he's been playing really well last month. In the past month, he's batting 240, around 240, about 238. And he's really coming up and playing well at a time where the bottom of the lineup, like today, did a lot of damage. Him and Nunez were doing really well today. And just another step in the right direction for JBJ.
It's really weird to watch, by the way. It's like just the turn that Jackie's taken in the past month and a half. We went from a center fielder who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn to a guy that we can finally start depending on in the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, you love to see it.
Yeah. I was just gonna say it might have been in the Toronto series, and it seemed like he had been cold for a few games, and I'm like, oh, here we go. It was actually on August 7th, that was the game, so whoever we were playing that night, and I was like, well, it's August 7th, Bradley's back in his slump, and then like a couple innings later, he crushed one, and he's been pretty stout ever since, so.
You want to jump to mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's the shout out. I mean, let's think about this. I mean, the man has a 1 ERA in his last 26 innings. David Price has been phenomenal. I hate to reuse people, but when you put out a performance like that, I understand it's against the triple O's, so it's a little different. You expect to go out there and dominate, but David Price looks stout. Season high 10 Ks, highest amount of Ks that he's had in a while, and he looked extremely sharp from what I saw.
I would love to find something in there that I didn't like, but you're absolutely right.
He was great.
Yeah,
he's been great.
Goes wild.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's been great the last month or so. He's been on fire. He's been our second best pitcher.
Yeah, basically since July 1st.
Talk about turns, too. Just those two, between Bradley and Price in the past, month and a half, they've looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Yankee series was huge for Price, for me to, get over that hump for him, and then to come out against the Orioles and, not blow up, right? Because you saw what happened the last time he played Kansas City after the Yankee series, that he got blown up, and he struggled there against a bad team. So
I was just waiting on him to make me look bad.
Yeah.
I was literally holding my breath the entire game. I was like, this idiot, it's going to make me look like a jackass, for picking them. And then he came out and he threw a couple scoreless. I was like, what's going on? Is this a dream? And he looked like a champ. So.
Yeah, and I mean, he's really been solid throughout the year. I mean, go into that game where he got absolutely destroyed by the Yankees. I mean, I think he had won his last 6 games or something and was cruising, and that's what made it so frustrating. There was no need for a performance like that, and it happened, and we all, especially me, crapped on him, and I think he might have scuffled a little bit against the Royals right after that, but not too bad, but and then he's been fine ever since. So. We got some big series coming up, so if he can keep it up, that'll be pretty encouraging. My shout out, not too much creativity here. I'm going with JD Martinez, who was 6 for 15 in the series, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and really put Game 3 kind of out of reach for them, and basically. Put his stamp on that win. So he leads the league in home runs. I believe he's 36-37, and Jose Ramirez is the next closest, and at least 3 behind him. So if he's gonna possibly win the Triple Crown, everybody thinks Mookie's gonna pass him in the batting average, and he might, but the dream is alive and well right now for Martinez. And how great would it be if somebody on the Red Sox could win it, because you got to go all the way back to Williams in either the 40s or 50s since it happened last, with this baseball team.
Yeah, it hasn't happened often in recent history anyway. I think Miggy was the last one, right?
Yeah, and then I think you got to go all the way
I
back.
think he did it twice.
Oh, did he do it twice?
He either